Good morning, Year 5. So today, on Wednesday the 27th of January, we are summarising, okay? So we're using our Viper skill, and we're looking at summarising. So we're still carrying on with the Alex Rider Secret Weapon book by Anthony Horowitz. So, carrying on. So once again, Alex didn't want to reply, but they knew anyway. They had been paid to take him there. Yes, he said, simply. Why? Alex ignored him. But then another of the men spoke. His name was Usman. As well as a rifle strapped across his shoulders, he had an ornate dagger with a curved blade hanging from his waist. You no go there, English boy, he said. You enter Falcon's Edge. You no come out. The others nodded in agreement. Nice lamb, Alex said, holding up his food. What's a pudding? Falcon's Edge, Alex had never heard the name until a few days before. Suddenly, he was 3,000 miles away, back home in Chelsea, relaxing in the comfort of his bedroom. The sun was shining. It was going to be a warm day. Alex had schoolwork to do, but no school. A large part of Brookland had burnt down, and all the students had been sent home while the police investigated what had happened. Alex could have told them, of course. He had been there when the fire began. He was lucky he hadn't died in the flames. The doorbell rang. Alex waited for Jack Starbright to answer it. Then he remembered that she had gone out shopping. He swung himself off the bed and padded downstairs with no shoes on. This was the house that his uncle had bought. All his life, while Alex was growing up, Ian Ryder had pretended to be a banker. But it was only after his death that Alex had discovered the truth. He was a spy, working for the Special Operations Division of MI6. As Alex had unravelled all the lies that had been part of him that had wanted to sell the house, to move out of London, to start living a life that was actually real. In fact, the exact opposite had happened. MI6 had come for Alex, sucking him into their world, sending him in on 2 missions, first to Cornwall and then to a private academy in the French Alps. He had been lucky to escape from Point Blanc. He had even been invited to his own funeral. He reached the front door and opened it. Who had he been expecting? The postman? Of course it wasn't as easy as that. Mrs. Jones, the deputy chief executive and the number 2 to Alan Blunt, was standing there, wearing a light raincoat, with her hands in her pockets. Alex recognized the man who was with her, dressed up as he always was in a cheap suit and what looked like an old school tie. This was John Crawley. Crawley from Personnel. That was how he described himself after Ian's death. Can we come in, Alex? Mrs. Jones asked. Maybe you should wait for Jack to get back, Alex said. Actually, we waited until she'd left. Alex didn't remember inviting them in, but... Okay, so summary questions again. Look at ordering events, what happened after, what was the first thing, can you summarize, and in what order do these chapter headings come? Okay, so it's looking at ordering sequences, what's happening, okay, that sort of part. So you need to pause the video and now read this text, or if you printed the text off, you can have that in front of you. Read through, highlight any important points, any vocabulary. Okay, there's a lot of dialogue there, and we need this dialogue that can continue into your English. Okay, and some questions. So what happened to the school as a result of Alex being chased around it? How do we learn about Ian Ryder from this extract? Summarize who out of these 3 characters in charge and why, and write a 30-word summary of this extract. So pause the video on the text and then pause the video on the questions to help you. You may want to write the questions down before answering the text to help you keep, instead of going backwards and forwards, write the questions down and then go back to the text.